days after workers demanded his removal. We hear from the workers who have been agitating for the removal of the NLA boss.
Ameya has destroyed NLA. So what we are saying is that Ameya must leave. He should be investigated on the importation of the Lotto kiosk. He's trying to kill our business, but not providing us with paper rope, not paying us. These are the two things that makes the Lotto sell. He's not doing it.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Gasem Cement, the nation builder. Also brought to you by Belacqua Mineral Water, as well as Voter for the Future is exciting, ready. Well, he has in the last few days been under siege by workers of the National Lotteries Authority who accuse him of mismanagement and corruption. Well, tonight, the Director General of the NLA, Osei Ameya, has been retired by President Akufo-Addo. He is not going alone. The appointment of his deputy, Yao Amaku Befi, has also been terminated with immediate effect. Now, join us to see copies of the retirement and termination letters written to both gentlemen, my colleague, and Esmenu joins me in the studio with details of these. And let's look at the letter written to Osei Ameya. When was it written?
Letter is dated the 10th of March 2021. This is just yesterday. And it comes with the title Retirement as Director General of the National Lottery Authority. Now, it says that upon reaching the compulsory retirement age of 60 years on the 20th of February 2020, the President of the Republic, by the letter dated 3rd September 2020, under my hand, granted you a one-year contract of service as Director General of the National Lottery Authority. The one-year contract lapsed on the 20th of February 2021, and therefore you are retired on that date. Accordingly, you are directed to hand over to Mr. Ernest Morte, the Finance Director of the Authority. He shall act as the Director General of the Authority pending appointment of a substantive Director General. You are directed further to proceed to collect any terminal benefits or facilities due you under the relevant law. The President thanks you for your service to the nation and wishes you the best in your future endeavors. This is signed by Secretary to the President, Nana Bidietu Asante.
And this sounds pretty familiar, pretty similar to one that we had recently. That's Daniel Demelovo's situation with the retirement, except that this has to do with an executive of the NLA whose contract was extended by a year, although he reached a retirement age. The president has the power to do so.
Exactly.
But of course, in the context of everything that has happened recently, and last week the workers, decided to go on industrial action. The NLA the Labour Commission had to step in and all. The decision has been taken. Of course, nobody has given that as a reason, but it is happening within the broader context of things at the NLA. The decision has been taken that his contract will not be renewed for a further year, as some may have said was expected. But Mr. Ameya himself had a reply.
Exactly.
To the presidency on this.
So he's written to the president through the secretary of the president, and this is what the letter says. And this letter is dated the 9th of March 2021.
Again, so yesterday?
No, so this letter of the president is dated the 10th of March, but his response is dated the 9th of March.
Okay, so that's interesting. So the 10th of March was yesterday?
Yesterday.
9th March was the day before, which will be Tuesday.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's read. That will become the reason why the dates are important. Will become clearer.
Let me bring you the content of it. So it says RE 1 year contract of service as Director General of NLA. Your letter dated the 3rd September 2020 with reference number, it states, the President, through you, extended my contract of service as Director General of the Authority for a year effective 21st February 2020, ending the 20th February 2021. I wish to inform the President, through you, that the extension of my tenure has come to an end. I thank the President for the opportunity given me to serve him and the nation. Please accept the assurances of my highest esteem. Thank you, yours faithfully, Honorable Kofi Osei Ameya.
So this is
Director
him
General.
informing the day before,
The day
informing the
before.
president that the extension giving him had
ended,
ended.
elapsed,
And
essentially.
then the day after that, the president then writes to him to say to him that yes, we extended it. The contract, that extension had come to an end. And in essence,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. You will not. There's
Proceed
no
to
indication
take
that
whatever
proceed to
benefit
take
are
whatever
due
it
you.
is, and so that has been the communication between the president and Osei Ameya. But then there's the case of his deputy, which is an outright termination of appointment.
Exactly. And this letter is also dated the 10th of March, which is yesterday. It says termination of appointment as Director General of the National Lottery Authority. Reference is made to a letter dated the 4th of April 2017, pursuant to which the President of the Republic appointed you as Deputy Director General of the National Lottery Authority. Now, due to the reorganization of the authority, I am to inform you that the President has terminated your appointment with immediate effect. You are directed to proceed to collect your terminal benefits in lieu of notice. The President thanks you for your service to the nation and wishes you the best in your future endeavors. Again, Nana Bediatu Asante, Secretary to the President.
Okay, so we are now giving a reason for the termination of his appointment, which is
the reorganization of the authority.
Okay, what that means in reality, we don't know, but we'll get into that shortly. Now, just last week, there was a massive protest at the NLA, and this was by the workers there who were angry at the way the place had been managed by Mr. Ameya, who tonight has been retired by the president. My colleague Parker Wilson covered that for us, and he joins us on the telephone line with some perspective on this. Parker, what were the concerns of the workers just last week?
Right, so Evans, some of the workers who protested against the Director General had indicated that he was mismanaging, in their own words, the authority. Now, three key issues were raised during the protest or the demonstration. The authority's failure to pay big wins. And those big wins are monies that when you go and stake the lottos, you win. The authority is unable to pay you. In fact, a prison officer joined the protest at the time, and he told us that he had won almost about 40,000 Ghana cedis as at last year, October, but he's yet to receive his money, or he's yet to be paid. And that is not the only case. If you go to another area, for example, there are quite a number of individuals who have staked the lottery but are yet to receive their money. And so the lotto agents have been assaulted, and some of them even threatened. And so they were against the continuous management of Mr. Osei Ameya. And another reason was that there's something called the paper roll. Now, the paper roll is when the primary document printed to you when you stake the lotto. They claim that consistently, ever since he became the director, it's been in short supply. And so even when you go to lottery agent to stake the lottery, you are unable to get the paper roll. That was also a major concern for them. And finally, the procurement of some e-kiosk. Again, the staff say that the procurement was shrouded in secrecy. They don't know whether the monies for the e-kiosk were indeed monies from the NLA or it was a partnership. These are something that they've written to the Director General for explanation, but they haven't received any yet. And so all these three issues contributed to the demonstration at the time. But Evans, it is also important to note that after the demonstration, the matter was referred to the National Labour Commission But then the Labour Commission directed them to go back to work and address the concerns they have with the Director General. So I am told by my source at the NLA that last Friday there was a meeting held between the Director General and also the staff who demonstrated against him.
And in fact, we heard from the General Secretary of the Financial Business and Services Employees Union of the NLA, Benjamin Mingle, who articulated what actions they were taking on the concerns they had with the management under Mr. Samuel.
This decision, though critical as it may seem, has been taken by the National Union as the last resort due to complete failure by the management of National Lotteries to respond to the union's request for an emergency meeting to discuss some reports of physical attacks on members of the authority employed, including members of the union across the country in recent time by some persons. It is the conviction of the National Union that the only guarantee to ensure the safety of the staff is for the authority to pay the winners their awards. The above decision has been taken to ensure safety of the members and the entire staff employed by the NLA. Amaya has destroyed NLA. We want him to be investigated on 3 issues: the importation of these lotto kiosks, the coming in of Kid, and the coming in of Texter. So what we are saying is that Amaya must leave. He's trying to kill our business, but not providing us with paper rope, not paying us. These are the 2 things that makes the lotto sell. He's not doing it, and he's promoting the interests of Texter and Kid. And you can see the yard now, everything is empty. We can't get paper rope to sell. He's not paying our wins. He should be investigated because we know he's done things wrong.
Okay, so those were the concerns just last week by the workers, and a few things to emphasize about this. So this has been a concern that the workers had put out. What has happened tonight with the letter from the president asking him, of course, retiring him after the extension of his contract? There is no direct indication that these concerns of the workers is the reason why the president has taken a decision, of course, to say, in essence, your extension had come to an end. We thank you for your service. Also remember that Mr. Samaya himself had the day before written to the president to, of course, inform the presidency that the extension given him after, of course, he reached the mandatory retirement age had elapsed. Pursuant to which the president then writes a letter saying, thanking him for his service, and of course he's no longer the NLA boss as we speak with immediate effect. And so these are 2 separate things, but it comes within the bigger context of what we've seen last week with the workers. My colleague Parker, who had been following this, is still with me. Parker, last week when the workers agitated, I know the NLA stepped in, you said, but did we hear anything from the NLA management, particularly Mr. Samaya himself?
Yes, I had the opportunity to interact with him when I went to the National Labour Commission to find out what's happening between the staff and the management with regard to the demonstration and the strike. Now, he tells me that all the concerns raised are not true. In fact, with the issue of non-payment of big wins, the point he made was that hasn't come to his attention. And so just as he heard we reporting during the midday at the time, he instructed his office to set up a committee to investigate that and also to ensure that any individual who has won big and is yet to receive his monies quickly forward the document to them for verification and validation, and within a period of 14 days, you will be paid. And so the allegations against him are untrue. With regards to the e-kiosk and the procurement, he still wasn't going to comment on that. But the paper roll, he says that they were constantly in supply. They do distributions to all the local agents across the country. So he doesn't know where some of these things are coming from. Now, Evans, just as I got the letter, asking him to retire, I was trying to check within my sources at the NLA whether the protest contributed to what we are seeing today. Well, the sources say they don't know, they don't have any proof to show that. But then what they know is that Mr. Osemia had earlier written to the president reminding him of the extension of contract given to him last year. He was supposed to retire last year, but he was given a 1-year contract extension. And so that is what they know. So they don't know whether the letter written to the president informed him or reminded him that he had to terminate or retire Mr. Osei Amela. So that is the information I am getting from my sources within the NLA.
Thank you, Parker. Let me bring in Eric Tamaklo. He's a local chairman of the NLA. They had organized a protest and laid out a series of industrial actions that they were going to take because of their dissatisfaction with the management of Osei Amela. Mr. Eric Tamaklo, I'm grateful that you could join us. What's your reaction to the letter from the presidency to the Osei Amela, the NLA boss?
Hello?
I can hear Mr. Tamaklo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear you, so please come again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now clear.
What's your reaction to the letter to Mr. Osei Amela from the presidency?
Oh, okay. That's a big relief to me personally and the staff at large. Because first and foremost, let me use this opportunity to thank the president for reacting swiftly to our call to intervene in the problems that is affecting us as a authority.
Just a point on that, though. It doesn't appear that the president had reacted to you per se, because this is about Osei Amela's contract that was extended, having elapsed, and the president saying, "Yeah, you've done the 1-year extension. Thank you for your service. Bye bye."
Yeah, but of course, we also know that there's also a possibility of further extending the contract of Mr. Kofi Osei Amela, which he was doing. He was actually trying to get another year contract extension. And that was the basis upon which we thought that no. I mean, in the face of all this mismanagement and the dwindling fortunes of NLA, we have to react quickly by petitioning the president not to, again, extend the contract of Mr. So it is within that context that I'm saying that we are thanking him for reacting swiftly to our petition. And mind you, we have sent a petition to the president calling on him not to extend further the contract of Kofi Osei Amela. So to answer your question about my reaction, I think it's a relief. I am very, very happy. The staffs are very, very happy across the regions, not only in Accra, that at least one hurdle has been crossed by not extending the contract of Mr. Kofi Osei Amela. However, we hope and pray that if an appointment is going to be made, at least somebody who is well versed in the corporate governance practices, who can come in and try to face the challenges we are having currently, doing some kind of institutional realignment to put NLA back to where we used to be. Mind you, NLA used to be the second highest contributor to the consolidated fund in the years back. But now, where are we? And all these things are due to the mismanagement over the years. Okay? So, yes, the president has done well. We are grateful to him. But we are also calling on him through your medium to get somebody who is well versed in corporate governance practices and is ready to listen to staff, listen to stakeholders at large, and work together with the staff, the LMCs at large, and partners in order to bring NLA back to its lost glories. So we are happy.
Okay.
We are very, very happy.
Last week, you announced a series of industrial actions you intended to take. The Labour Commission had to step in. On the back of this decision by the President, are you withdrawing your planned protests?
So far, there hasn't been any planned protest. And that is because we believe that the petition we sent to the President will find him and he will react to the issues we have raised in that particular petition. So currently, we have not even planned any demonstration because we believe he will act in the manner that he acted. So I think when we went to the Labour Commission on that Monday, that we have decided to withdraw our services under Section 119. The Labour Commission intervened and called on us that in the interest of the business and also NLA being a strategic asset of the government, we should reverse our decision of withdrawing our services. So since Monday, we are back to work. And as I said earlier on, we don't intend to embark on any demonstration as I speak.
Also, tonight, Mr. Samuel is not going alone. His deputy's appointment has also been terminated with immediate effect. Your reaction to that?
Well, I don't think I have much to say about that, and because under Mr. Kofi Osei-Ameao's administration, the deputy had little to do. I mean, he was almost redundant of a sort. So I cannot say that maybe another person who has performed below expectation has been asked to go, or maybe somebody who is doing so well has been asked to go. So I think I'll have little to say on that. We believe in the interest of the president that once maybe he thinks that Mr. Kofi Osei-Ameao cannot continue again, and it is wisdom, he also believes that the deputy director should not also act or should not be appointed as a deputy director. Maybe somebody may come and then who will be ready to, work with us towards achieving the objectives of the organization. So I can't speak much about the deputy director.
Sum up for me what your key expectations will be of a new administration, a new management that will certainly be appointed very soon.
We expect a listening director general to be appointed. We expect the director general to come and hit the ground running, because NLA currently, we are struggling. We are struggling for things that we should not even be struggling for, particularly issues that borders on the supply of paper roll. Paper rolls are primary document that if you go and stake Lotto, they'll give you a printout which will show clearly the numbers you have staked, the amount you have staked. If you win, you have to present this to be registered for prizes and so on and so forth. But constantly, over the past 4 years, this primary tool has been in shortage. You understand? So we think that the new director, when or if appointed, should listen to staff, listen to stakeholders, including the LMCs, to get some of these problems resolved as soon as possible. If it is an issue of procurement, we need to sit up. If it is an issue of supplier problem, we need to also sit up and have these issues addressed. So to the incoming director, which we don't know yet, if he comes, we expect that he will listen to stakeholders, staffs, management, LMCs, partners at large, to as it were, have some of these issues that are problems now not to become a problem for us again. That is our expectation. I don't want to go into staff welfare issues and all of that, because we may not have enough time to talk about this.
Yeah, but there was a fundamental, and this is the last one, there's a fundamental concern you had about the NLA's inability to pay wins. And this is a National Lotteries Authority, and its primary mandate is if I stake my lottery and I win, they should facilitate the payment. But you've complained that has been an issue, and so some of your members were attacked. That problem, is it a problem of NLA simply not having the funds to pay up, or it's due to the mismanagement and the wastage of funds? What is it, and how is this can this be addressed in the short term?
It is both. It is both, my brother. It is due to mismanagement. It is also due to what other issue were you even raising?
As in the money,
management of funds.
Funds.
Yes. I say this because the business of lottery is in such a way that, assuming somebody should come and load credit, you buy credit onto the machine and then you sell. Okay. If somebody should come and load credit for, let's say, 1,000 Ghana, you must make provision for, at least on average, 52% is going into the payment of wins. Okay, so that 52% of that amount should go into the wins account. You are also going to pay 20% of this as commission to the LMCs who have loaded credit and they are going to sell. So that part of money must also go into the commission account. We also have service providers that we also give them a certain, I think on average, 7%. I think we spend also about 1% on paper roll. So these things are fixed costs that you must always make provision for. So if we have a situation where we are struggling to pay wins, my brother, What can be attributed to this?
Okay, I mean, there's a lot there to interrogate when it comes to National Lotteries Authority, but I'm grateful that you joined me, Eric Tamaklo, who is the local chairman of the NLA. And 2 years ago, the Corruption Watch worked together with Joy News, did some extensive work investigating the NLA, and found a lot of things that they brought to the attention of the president, etc. Frederick Isiama did that worked extensively working with the workers there to just look at the way the NLA is run. It joins me on the reaction to what has happened tonight. Thank you, Mr. Isiama, for your time here on Top Story. What's your reaction to the news tonight that both the boss himself at the NLA and his deputy, whose appointment has been outrightly terminated?
Good evening to you, Evans, and good evening to everyone. I would say that it is interesting that this action is coming at this time. And it's also interesting to find that the NLA boss's removal is related to the non-renewal of his contract extension, and that he's going on retirement. The president doesn't disclose that he's removing him for any wrongdoing. For me, and because of the work that we have done over there, it's interesting because for how many years now there have been several allegations brought up against Mr. Oseamia. One of them is the fact that people claimed that he was allegedly abusing procurement processes, including allegedly breaching contract approval thresholds and also allegedly engaging in conflict of interest. You will recall, or listeners may recall, that in one of the stories that we ran on Corruption Watch, it also came up that he was allegedly victimizing workers who were refusing to do his bidding, to the extent that some of them were even transferred. And I'm aware that at least one of those people filed a case of administrative injustice with Shraj. It has also been claimed, as Mr. Tamaklo was just telling you, that the NLA, which was making profit at the time that Mr. Oseamia took over, has actually been run down and is making losses.
And I know part of this in 2019 went to court and the case had to be struck out. Why was that? Just a few seconds because of lack of time.
The case went to court. He took us to court claiming that we had libeled him and seeking an injunction of further publication of matters concerning him. But he failed to follow up the case. And so the court, upon the praying of our lawyers, threw out the case.
That is, of course, Corruption Watch, Frederick Isiama there, who had done a lot of work on the NLA's operations over the last couple of years. More on this on Newsnight.